Good afternoon. Welcome to this session. This is going to be a very brief tutorial session on how to connect Workbench to your MySQL instance, which is on AWS Lightsail. You know, when you create AWS Lightsail, it comes with MariaDB pre-installed. That is the LAMP PHP 8 version, or even PHP 7 comes with MariaDB pre-installed. And most of us would want to actually connect Workbench to it, but we'll have some challenges here and there. This tutorial video is just for you if you are that kind of guy who wants to do just that. So let's dive right into it. Let me share my screen. Let me share the entire screen. All right, and then the first thing is to create your Lightsail instance, of course. So PHP 8, that's what I want to use. This is just for testing purposes, so let me go for the $3 instance. And then let me call this outside DB connection. I don't know if this is too wordy, but that's fine. Let's just create it. Now, after creation of the, just to take some few minutes and then it will be. All right, so it's done now, it's up and running. So you would want to click on it to now connect to it, the instance that you've created. So you can actually use this guy here, connect via SSH to do whatever you want to do. Or you can also, if you are a terminal guy like myself, you would want to connect via the SSH on your own terminal because I think that one is faster. I don't know, but I think personally, I think it's faster. And then seeing that terminal thing to kind of, puts me in that mood. So let me download the SSH, the default key. Now this default key comes with different permission. It has its own permission, which is different from what AWS will allow. So we need to first of all change the permits from what it is previously to 400. So to do that, let me just cd into, I don't need to cd into remote. So you just run the command chmod 400, and then there's a download, I think so, and then Lightsail, yeah. And that's it, you've changed the permission of the file, and now we can use it as our default key to log into AWS using SSH. So SSH -I, where I is you would want to direct it not to use your default key, which you've set up, but rather use the one that you've downloaded. So -I, the path to the key that you want, and then the account name, Bitnami at, then the IP. What is the IP? 18.something.something.something, and then hit enter. It's the first time, that's why it's asking for this. And then yes, we are in Bitnami now. Now the home page, or the, what's it called? The home directory for this particular user, Bitnami, will have this file over here. Now this file contains the credentials for your MySQL, the root user. Okay, so if I am to cut this file, we can see the password for the root user here. This same password can actually be used for different users, multiple users here and there, multiple applications that this one comes with. And so you would want to really protect this password. All right, now, so let's log into the SQL now. The user is root, and then our password, we know the password to be, I don't know if I copied it, but let me copy and paste again. Yeah, and then we are in. Now, the first thing we would want to do after logging in is to create that user. All right. In order to kill time, let me just go to this commands that I have here. To create a user, just write in the create user, the username, and then the password, identified by the password. So let me just copy this guy and come and paste it in the terminal and just change a few things. This and that, and then this, and that. All right, so I've created that user. I need to grant the user privileges. So this. Now, remember, this is granting an absolute privilege to the user master. We don't want to do that. You don't want to do that if it's not for testing purposes and you're going to delete your account soon after that, like what I'm going to do to this account soon after this session has ended. You would rather want to be careful of using these wildcards. If you want just a select to grant the user select privilege, then you do that. If you want to limit him to a particular database, you want to do that all over here. You don't want to grant an absolute permission to the user if you are not too sure of what the permissions that you would want to. Yeah, I guess you get the point. And then afterwards, you flash privileges. So we are done with the SQL part. Creating a user. To test it, you can actually try to log into MySQL using the user that we've created. So the user's name is, the username that we used was master, and then the password was master. So, all right, so we are in, it means we are done over here. Let me come out from it, clear my screen. And then the next thing is to locate the configuration file for MariaDB on this server, on this Lightsail server. Okay, so let's use this command to locate it. Why do I keep scrolling and not doing this one? We use this command to locate the conf file, because we are using a command to find it because on different systems, you will have it in different directories. Okay, so we don't know. We'll just say that we don't know where it is on this particular instance that you've created. All right, so this command needs to be run with sudo. That's why it failed. So if you run it with sudo now, this is it. This is where it's created. So copy this one. If I'm to cut it, this is what we have in there. We want to only change this guy we have here, the bind address. All right. So change the bind address from 127.0.0.1 to 0.0.0.8. What this basically is telling MariaDB is that is to actually bind connections that is coming from localhost from this server, this same server. So any other connection that is coming which is not on this same server, reject it. Okay, likewise, if you want to also connect from a different server, you'd want to change that bind address to the IP of that particular server you'd want to connect to. So let's do that now. So Nano into it, because Nano is quite simple to use. Everyone will understand, unlike the Vim that hackers use it to flex their muscles. Anyways, so yeah, save it, and then we are done with this one. Afterwards, we would want to restart the service. AWS kind of obscure certain things. You don't want to hide certain things from the users and things like that. And so it's not the normal systemctl, whatever, restarts MariaDB, and then boom, you are good to go. No, they have created a bash script called CT, what's the name? CTL script, this one, which is found at opt bitnami CTL script. If you don't have it at this particular directory, then you can also do same find, and then the name is CTL, this one, and then you get it, and you can run this command on it. So let's run the command to restart the MariaDB service. Let's check if everything is up and running by just writing over here the status. Let's see, boom, it's running. Now remember, MySQL by default is on port 3306. On this server, on this Lightsail server that has been created, it comes with firewall installed. Okay, and firewall will actually prevent connection to the database from any other port if that port is not allowed on the system. So we need to go to this interface, go to the networking side, and go and allow MariaDB or MySQL open that port, kind of, yeah, so that anyone at all can actually connect to that port from here. So you want to select the MySQL, whatever, MySQL /Aurora here, and then if you want to restrict it to an IP, you do so. You can also just type the default ports over here, and then if you want to, again, restrict it to an IP, you do so. But in this particular example, we just want to make it open. As you do this, automatically it gets added to the IP version 4. If for some reason it didn't add it to version 6 and you want to open it on IP version 6, you can do same here by clicking on the add rule and then adding it over here. But we are good to go. It added it both sides. Actually, we are just interested in IP version 4 and not the others. So now that we are done with this, we go to our Workbench now and then create a new connection. TCP/IP over SSH, because we would want to connect to the server via SSH. And then as we are on the server, we connect to MySQL Workbench. All right. So what is the SSH host name? is a public IP address that AWS gave us, this one. So come here, enter the host name. The user is what? Bitnami. We are not logging into the server using username and password, so ignore this site, but we are rather using the key that we downloaded from Workbench. So select that key, and then over here, we want to leave everything here intact except this one, which is the user that we created. We called it Masa, and then the password was Masa was so with a P. And then we just give it a name. Let's just call it AWS Lightsail connection or something. Yeah. And then just, okay, you could have actually tested it, but it's fine. So now when we click on this particular connection, we are hoping that if everything is fine, we will be able to connect to the instance, and boom, voila, we are connected to that instance. As simple as A, B, C, D. If you have any question on this, you can leave it in the comment section. If there is something that I said that isn't true, you can also correct it over there. And if you think this is an interesting video, give it a thumbs up, a like, and then share with someone who you think will also benefit from this video. Okay. Before doing this, I actually went through the whole thing, and the name, everything was the same. I guess that's why you have this one over here. I just wanted to test if everything was working by creating a new database. So if I run this query and then come here and then refresh the page, you can see that the database has successfully been created. And yeah, that's it. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.